I'm Kyle Bachus. On April 28th of 2020, my mom was killed as a result of someone else's negligence. It's completely changed my life and the way I practice law. If you too have felt the pain of losing a loved one and you don't know where to turn, let me be your guide on what to do next when the unthinkable happens. Immediately after my mom was killed, you start having questions. How did this happen? I mean, it's one thing to be told, your mom was killed on a walk. That evokes a lot of questions in the mind of a family. You probably have similar questions. How did it happen? Why did it happen? Who's responsible for this? What's going to happen to our family? How are we going to make it through? Is the person who caused my mom to be killed, are they going to go to jail? Like you would think they're going to go to jail for a long period of time. I mean, just killed somebody. A big area of concern. What's next? What is our involvement going to be? When are we going to hear something? Where's my mom's body? We need an autopsy? Are they going to do an autopsy already? You basically are given terrible information. Somebody comes to your door and tells you that somebody's been killed or catastrophically injured. That's it. They tell you and they leave. Just like any other family, we were confronting all of these questions, and especially my mom, all of these things that start coming up. We didn't even know whether she had a will or not. To what extent do we rely upon the police department, and what is their investigation, and what are they going to be doing to find out what happened? Police department where my mom was killed in Winter Park, Florida is not a big police department. They're not every day is dealing with wrongful death or catastrophic injury collisions. They're just not. And we were especially concerned when they failed to tell us that my mom had been hit by and killed by a commercial concrete mixer truck and left in our mind the impression that it had been a car. Knowing what I know from my professional experience, that commercial trucking company, they're out there within an hour of this happening, and they're gathering their own evidence and talking to their own witnesses. And meanwhile, my family doesn't even know for another 4 hours that my mom had even been killed. There's a lot to try to understand and digest when this happens to your family, and to try to make sure, what is my point of contact? What are my rights with respect to any sort of criminal investigation? This just happened and we're still just trying to make it through the next hour, the next day. So where do you start? Those are the things that we were confronted with nearly immediately. One of the things that I think it's important for you to know is that you have rights. You have rights. You have every right to talk in a clear and transparent way with the police department. In our case, one of the kind of frightening things that we learned was that here, this smaller Winter Park Police Department didn't have a place to take or to impound this commercial concrete mixer truck. The trucking company talked the police into allowing them to take the vehicle that killed my mom back to their yard, and they would download the data and make the truck available in their yard for the police so that they could reopen the roadway. We found out about this very early on and were able to do something about it. You need to know that you have rights. They're public employees. It's a big deal in a department, no matter how large or how small, when somebody's catastrophically injured or killed. And you have a right to talk with those who are involved and to understand what their process is so that you can make some decisions about what's best for your family.